Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. Good to have you all here. We'll be starting here in just a moment, in fact. Now, Armoured Brigade. Very good, actually. I'm looking forward to it. We will be playing a operation. There's one I've downloaded here from the workshop, which is fun. I like the fact that you can actually do that. I do like a good workshop interface. I like actually being able to use it, which is fun. So what we're going to be doing then, bring the game up here in a second. Ideally, audio is good to go. Everything should be fine. It's looking excellent here, so we'll be okay. Right, so single mission. Now, this one was called Task Force Witch. Of course, this isn't official, so if there's anything strange, any bugs, then that's fine. So we have here Task Force Witch. And now this is the 10th of July 1987. We have operational briefing here. The 16th Guard Tank Division has moved forward elements west of Lüneburg. Even though they are heavily engaged in our forces there, they have failed to break our defenses south of the Elbe River. 2nd Guard's tank army is now trying to bypass our defenses to prevent its attack from stalling. The Soviets now seem convinced that making a opening in our lines is the only way to maintain the momentum of their attack. So the mission here then, so far the Soviets have yet to commit any tank regiments to the breakthrough attempt. That means they are still engaged or have paused to reorganize and resupply. Whatever the reason, we must plug this hole in our lines. We cannot allow the Soviets to break through and interfere with the deployment of the Dutch main force, and do not let this situation get any more out of control. Any further out of control, hold the Soviets before they reach the A7 highway. So we have a clear mission here. Let's see how we can manage it. So, Task Force Witch is made up of the elements of the 9th Panzer Brigade here. We are given a Leopard 2A1 as our headquarters. We have a, would you call this a Zug? Might be a Zug. I'm going to call it a, I'll call it a platoon there of Leopard 2A1s. Hey, doing that, Mike? Good to have you, my friend. As we have a platoon of Leopards there. 2nd platoon of Leopards, 3rd platoon of Leopards there. Are they all part of, right, so they're all part of the 91st here. Battalion. Okay. We have here then, as also part of the 92nd. Oh, this is the 91st, this is the 92nd Panzer Battalion, okay. Panzer Grenadier Battalion. So we have 2 Marders, and we have Panzer Grenadiers. Yes, that is our command, we have our Panzer Grenadiers here. Panzer Grenadier. Right, okay, so we have... Okay, it's got company headquarters. Platoon. Platoon. Okay, 3 platoons and a headquarters. I suppose we'll call that... Yeah, but no, that would be company headquarters, and I'd imagine this sort of scale. Yeah, company headquarters does sound right. As we have a number of Panzer Grenadiers. We do have... I believe these are the sort of mortars, in fact. So we do have that to work with. I could be wrong. And so intelligence, the unit we believe will be attempting to break through is the 60th Guards Motor Rifle Regiment. They are at full strength, however they only appear to have organic fire support available. Hey, Demand Lancer, good to have you, my man. Right, so they only have their actual organic fire support, so that means essentially on map fire support they're not going to have anything off map, so they don't have any assisting artillery units, which is good news. Now, whether or not that means they actually have air power available to them is going to be a different question entirely. Ideally they do not, but I don't think we have air power either, so that's fine. So, we are going to be playing as the Federal Republic of Germany. Hey, did that great night? Good to have you, my man. Okay. Show victory levels. That's a good one to have there. Hey, didn't have that. I know. You guys need to tell them to have me more often. Okay, always play enemy sounds. Sometimes that actually does give away information, so I'm going to have that turned off, actually. Spit cheating, I suppose you could say. Play a character show hidden in AAR. That'd be good to see there afterwards. Okay. So this is Task Force Witch. So we are going to be facing off against a motor rifle regiment, so that's going to be interesting then. Idea is not too bad for us. Okay. Let's see, this is just my keyboard. I really do need to take a look at actually remapping the map directions to do the A's and D. I really do prefer that. Hey, doing Jackal, it's good to have you. Right, okay, so we do see this area to the north of here then, so this is off limits. Now, this is an unofficial scenario. This is Task Force Witch. This is actually found on the Steam Workshop. If you'd actually go ahead and like play yourself. So we do have here from 6 PM to 8 PM UK time. That should be alright. Probably gives us more than enough time to actually finish this scenario here in good time. So that's good. How you did that, Pitfing? Good to have you, my friend. Okay. Right, so take a look at the actual lay of the land here then. So we do have a town of a centre. Appropriately named Town 1, unless we do have a name. No, this is appropriately named Town 1. We have Town 2, Forest North, Forest South. And these are our objectives, and so we are going to be playing defensive here. Soviet Motor Rifle Regiment be breaking here. Okay. Right. So we know what we need to do then. Let's take a look at the isometric view. Not too bad. I mean, it's decent terrain from an offense, as you can imagine. Which is why the Soviets are pushing here. We do have the towns where we can work with. There are other towns out here that we could potentially go for forward deployment. I don't think we're going to have that as an opportunity. There are some larger buildings that could be potentially considered. But I don't know if we'll have that opportunity. I think really what we want to do then is establish potentially positions of forward defense. So we could use scout elements, reconnaissance elements, potentially push them a little bit further out there. Try and set up something of a tripwire. Try to actually... I mean, what we want to actually try to do here then is have the Soviet Motor Rifle Regiment believe they found the front line, when in fairness this is only... I can't remember the name of the tactic. It was something that was employed by German forces, obviously during the Second World War, towards the end of the war. And it was employed in Korea. I can't recall what it's called now. I can't recall what it was now. But it was a way you'd have obviously the main line, but you'd have forward elements over here that would have the enemy believe that this was actually the front line, and then what would happen is once they were pushed back, they would fall back to the main line. But of course you'd always have them fall back to pre-prepared positions, essentially, all going well. So, what we'll do then is we'll take a look here. Oh, whereabouts are we? That's kind of cool. Not seeing any names right here. So, somewhere in Germany. It did tell us, actually, we are somewhere along the Elbe or near the Elbe. I read the name, actually, I can't recall where it was now. Lüneburg. We're near Lüneburg, I think it is. So if we take a look at the height map. Right, actually we do have decent terrain down here then. So, Forest South, Town 1, Forest North over here, we do have Town 2. The good news is our actual defensive positions, our actual objectives are in pretty damn good terrain. Especially out here, but some distance, there's some really quite open terrain there. As for completed, we do have a, I suppose you could call it a river out there. There will be fordable points, and I imagine there will be bridges across the river here too. So something that we could do with looking for then is where the crossing points are. Okay, so we do have bridges over here to the north end. Right. Bridge over here. Over troubled water, as one would say. There's not that many bridges across the river here, actually. We do have one down here, then. So we have 3 bridges across the river, then. That gives us something to work with. Now, if we take a look at the actual town here. We do have a good number of panzer grenadiers. We do have the leopards as well, which is nice. So we can work with that. As far as it goes, though, we do have some forward tree lines out here, some forests out here that could be potentially used. We do have bridges here, so we actually do have some pretty damn defensible terrain. Oh, I like the rail tracks. That's quite a nice little detail there. A little bit of... I like how it's on the road there. It's cool. Right, the town's the north and it's intriguing. We do have a lot of forest actually in the centre of the town here. Nice little park, I suppose you could say, or a little forest, whatever you want to call it. We do have some larger buildings over here, but that's good. We have a large building there and there as well. Some large buildings actually in the centre of town, and on the outskirts, and definitely in the centre too. So we do have a lot that we can actually work with here. Oh, that town's actually off limit, never mind. Just this town here. I do have a couple of stray buildings. We do have a building over here. The issue is I don't imagine its line of sight would be tremendous with the actual block and hedge line. But if I take a look... Actually, that's not too bad. It does have line of sight potentially over here. It would be intriguing to see what it'd be like for an actual unit in there. It could be potentially better than we actually believe. Yeah, we are equipped with the Martyrs. So that's good. And do we have any support? We do not have any artillery support. Do we have any air support? We have no air support. We know that the Soviet Motor Rifle Regiment has no support other than the organic support, so that's not too bad. Okay. Forces are motorized. Sorry, mechanized. They're motivated. Now, these guys are pretty tremendous because we do have the actual autocannons. We also do have the Milan ATGMs. The good news is they actually have 6 of those bad boys, so they definitely come in useful there. They do have the radio thermal imaging there, NBC, okay. Right. Night vision's good. The time here, yeah, so nighttime, maybe we might see something towards the evening. I doubt it. Right. So what we can take a look at then, because we do have Town 1 as the most forward objective. I don't think it's worthwhile putting everything into Town 1. I could potentially leave a platoon, maybe 2 platoons to potentially try and hold the town there. I think 1 platoon would be sufficient to hold the town, so I don't want to leave too much of the town. We could potentially counterattack in the future to do that. If I take a look over here at the height, that's elevated. So, right, okay. And potentially leopards over here in that tree line, or along that sort of hill there, could be potentially quite dominant. They would actually be in a decent position to potentially prevent the enemy from moving on up to Forest North, but I don't think they're going to go to the northern forest there. If we take a look then, we do have a tree line here. Forest over there works well. We do have the hills here as well. Potentially a platoon. No, not a platoon. Maybe a squad or 2 in that forest there is not a bad idea. We do have a number of panzer grenadiers. We don't have actual proper reconnaissance, however. Oh, yes, I was right. So we do have the 120mm mortars there. That's quite good. Okay, so what I'm going to do then is have them deployed. Let's see. Their range... Yeah, that's sufficient there. Okay, they're going to be useful pretty much throughout the entire battle. I could potentially have them further to the rear. So I have them behind that position there. So they are behind the hill there, which is excellent. We don't have any AA, so I don't think we have to fear anything from enemy air power potentially. Now, let's see. That gives them range out of this position here. That's not too bad for me. I think we'll have the mortars actually deployed in the rear like that. So I'm going to have you as 1. Have them operate as a battery. I could have them operate independently, but that's fine. Height, yep, okay. Town 2 would be the final fallback position anyhow. I'll have them by the roads so they can actually redeploy quickly. Over here as well, perhaps. Looks like a fording point there. Do have a tree line there. Have them deployed about there. Okay. I do need these. Oh, excuse me. Oh, it's because somebody's like mowing the lawn outside, mowing the grass outside, and grass pollen kills me. Ah, there we go. Coffee makes the pain go away. Okay. So, does anybody have any particular feelings about this map, and anything you have as a concern? I might have some of these mortars actually shifted to the north, but I think that's not too bad there. This area I'm not expecting to see much in the way of resistance, and I think it's probably better to have the mortars actually in this position here. They might even be able to, like... I don't know. Then again, I don't want to have them actually in a position to provide their own reconnaissance information. Well, I don't want to have them actually eyeball the enemy. So no, I don't need to worry about that. So I do have the company headquarters here. Is this our overall headquarters for the battalion? Are we playing a battalion? Well, we've got... So we have our Leopard company over there. 12 tanks, obviously, headquarters there. We look to have 2 companies of Panzer Grenadiers then. Okay, so we've got 2 companies. Yeah, this is it. It's not the largest engagement. Not battalion. No, yeah, I suppose you could call it an ad hoc battalion. Yeah, ad hoc battalion sounds about right. Combined arms. Yeah, that's about right. So I do have the headquarters over here then. The 2 Marders. I don't have much in the way of actual headquarters support, so I do need to be mindful of that. It might be worthwhile to potentially have a headquarters unit. That's not a bad position there. I do also want to be able to use their Milan ATGMs. So if I have them deployed there. Now, this is a Panzer Grenadier squad assigned as security, it looks like. They are equipped with Panzerfaust 44 here. And obviously the AMG frees an assault rifle. So nothing amazing. I could potentially even have them in a forward position to act as spotters, but that's some distance between them. I mean, that's about 600 meters there. That's pretty far. Not far off a kilometer, is it really? So we'll have them deploy there. How does that position look? Martyrs, okay. What can they see? Bad line of sight's not tremendous, but it's not bad either. Actual headquarters here. Not incredible. Everything being said there. Panzer Grenadiers, not bad. Maybe we do have the Panzer Grenadiers actually deployed a little bit further to the front. Maybe I could potentially have them deployed over that way. But no, I think they're in a fine position where they are. Maybe about there. How far away is that? About 200 meters. That's not too bad. We should be able to manage with that. I could potentially have them deployed a little bit... Yeah, that's not too bad. I'd like to have something that could have eyes on the north there. So if I have them there... In all honesty, what I can do here then... So blue dots gives us the information there to work with. So not an amazing spot, but it does actually have a position to the north actually somewhat protected there. I'll have them in the center. They can actually be possibly used then to actually provide defense then. Have you about there? Okay, that's fine. We'll have them essentially just using their ATGMs. The autocannons are essentially just emergency. Let's see. Reattach there. Sort their orders out then in a little while. So we have our battalion headquarters assigned then. We do have a Leopards out here. They are superb. I might be able to potentially have a Leopard platoon deployed to the south there. I do invest. We have one of the developers here. If any of you guys have any questions, do feel free to ask. Okay. Oh, right, okay, so we have M platoon, we have L platoon, we have K platoon. That's nice. We have J as our actual company command. Excellent. Yeah, so as I was saying beforehand, I think we will have a forward deployment of a few platoons then. I think we can definitely get away with that. As for where they can go, it's not too bad actually here. We do have a tree line through the center. Looks to be some sort of park, really. We do have trees over here. We do have these large buildings. And the good news is I could potentially have a Milan. Well, I could have a Marder potentially sit here to side down the road. The issue is we need to use the Marders as ambush vehicles. Though it might be preferable to have a forward defense. Yeah, okay. I may potentially have the actual infantry, the actual Panzer Grenadiers deployed to the town. I think we'll have them split to some degree. I mean, that's not a bad position there at all, really. So we do have the ability to bug out if we need to. Do have a good few positions. So what we might do then is actually have the company here somewhat used. I might have... I think we should be able to... we're not going to be able to hold the town with just one... Well, we're free. Well, yeah, we're not going to be able to hold the town with one platoon there. We will be able to potentially make a dent in their lines, however, in their formations. What I'd like to do then is actually have the Panzer Grenadiers used to actually spot the enemy. So if I have them placed there, they still have line of sight. They obviously do not have line of sight down the road itself. But then again, it also means that the enemy doesn't have potentially line of sight on them either. I could potentially have them deployed there. They do have their Panzerfaust, but they don't have much. But they do have the heat shells. I'm not entirely sure what the actual chemical defense... Is it chemical, isn't it? Let me double check. We have kinetic and chemical, I think it is. Armor. Ah, yeah, there we go. Chemical. I think it's chemical. do have eyes on the bridge here. Eyes on that bridge as well. That's not too bad, but I feel like they would actually be destroyed fairly quickly. But they do have a position where they could fall back to, so that's not too bad. The issue is if they do need to leave this area, they are kind of in a bad position. But I could potentially have the Marder actually hidden in the trees there, so it's not too bad actually. It's just one of those positions where they are likely to be destroyed. But then again, this is a forward defense. The idea here is ideally they can get the hell out of dodge, ideally get the hell out of the area and survive. So if I take a look at their actual line of sight here, they're covering that road, and that bridge importantly. I could potentially have them deployed a little bit further, but I don't gain too much from that. At least in this position here, I do have a little bit of additional cover here. We do have a bridge, so they can't just move straight in on us, they have to cross elsewhere. That's not too bad. It depends on the range of the leopards. I could potentially have the leopards positioned out here somewhere. That's not great. What I might do then is actually have these platoons, have the platoon actually used to defend the northern sector of the town. I might have a second platoon used to cover the southern sector of the town, actually the objective here. Then that would leave me with the rest of the actual company potentially as a reserve, and I think I'd rather have a reserve actually. So we'll have you as our reserve, and this is going to be G platoon. H platoon will be used to defend the south and the centre of the actual town. We do have the headquarters here at C. So we'll use the actual company here to defend the town. I didn't intend to do this initially. We can then have the second platoon of Panther Grenadiers actually used to defend Forest South. I'll have them mostly split up. We'll have some leopards. I could potentially have a platoon of leopards deployed to the centre, but we'll see about that. It depends on their range. The leopards are going to be more than likely a counter to the enemy's armoured thrust. But we'll see. Ideally, we can deal with the enemy's armor by using the ATGMs. That would be really quite preferable. Hi, Dinah Van Bishop, good to have you. Hello there, Freya, good to see you as well. Right, okay, so, defense to the north then. I do have some tree line over here to work with, which is excellent. The issue is, if I have them deployed here, actually, how we're looking. They do have some line of sight out this way. Not a tremendous amount, but they are in a fairly safe position. If I was to have them deployed over here, let's say, they do have, obviously, improved line of sight to certain areas, but it's not too amazing. I might have them positioned there. I could potentially have them in that forest, but if I have them in that forest, they're not going to get out of there. I could potentially have them sit and watch the bridge over here, but I feel they would be, I feel they'd be overwhelmed fairly quickly. I could have them deploy here. And they do have pretty damn good line of sight. I could potentially have Milan, their Marder, actually sit over here, then, so that's not too bad. Okay. So I have you here. You can't see too much. I have you positioned there. That's a little bit better. How you doing there, Pixel? Good to have you, my friend. At least they can actually reverse. They'd have to pop smoke. Ideally, they survive. That's the thing that we want there. If I have them deployed in here, at least they actually do have a forest. They actually have a little bit more cover there to work with. How you doing there, Desi? Good to have you, my friend. Not too bad. We're playing here a custom-created scenario that I found on the workshop called Task Force Witch, I think it was. So I'm just trying to figure out how I want to actually deploy my forces here to be able to resist a Soviet motor rifle regiment. And so I'm going to have the third and final squad over here use as something of a reserve. So I can have them deployed here. Now they do have line of sight, pretty damn excellent line of sight there as well, which is excellent. So good, I said it twice. Right, I could have them deploy their Marder. Marder doesn't have potentially great line of sight. I could have it positioned here, maybe. Which isn't too bad. Maybe a little bit further forward, but then if I do that, they might be taken out. So what I'm going to do then is keep it somewhat within the actual town itself. Now that's a pretty defensive position there. At least we can actually maybe engage. But its actual ability to engage is limited up close. It does, of course, have the 20mm ATGM. Sorry, it has the 20mm autocannon. But this is it. We are really relying upon the ATGMs to be able to do anything. So I've got to be mindful of that. Indeed, the marauding Marders. And that's not too bad. It does have an ability to fire ATGMs potentially, but the line of sight is not worthwhile. So I think what we might do then is go ahead. Let's see. From that position, maybe. That position's actually pretty good there. It's actually quite an enviable position. And what I might do is potentially have you deployed. Maybe something like that. Now that allows you to keep an eye on the south there to a degree. There. And the tree line. That's looking pretty good. Now, it's not great if they do push on this position here, but we do have the Marder watching the bridge. We do have the Marder there, so we actually have the platoon organised fairly well. We do have the forward elements, we actually do have the reserve element over here that could be moved out fairly quickly. I will have a full platoon as a reserve here, which is going to be G platoon. So we'll have them used as our reserve. We do have the headquarters, which is the C platoon here. You could call it platoon. I could potentially have headquarters deployed somewhere out this way. That's a good idea. If I have them deployed here, they have line of sight out there. It's not perfect, but it's not bad. Central town is a risky position. Line of sight out that way. That's not too bad. It does actually give us eyes on the north, so we'll have that. I do have another company that will defend the southern area of the town. Well, another platoon that will defend the southern area of the town, though, so that's not too bad. What I'll do then is actually have these fellows. Gonna have them loaded up. So, load. Oops. Load, there we go. I'd like to have them somewhere covered, however. What I can do here then is actually reattach. So just place you then as you would be. Reattach, formation space, and just decrease that ever so slightly. So they are behind the actual tree line here, so that's not too bad. They're in a position where they can potentially support if needs be, but they're actually on the road, they're actually near the crossroads here, which is good. So they can actually go in any of the cardinal directions pretty quickly to respond to the enemy thrust, which is nice. Yeah, that's pretty good then. So I don't know. Then again, it's not too bad actually having you there. They don't have a squad. I do have the platoon over here to actually work with, so that's fine. So what I'll do then is actually have the headquarters here. Okay. If I reattach. Yeah, so they cover the entire town there. That's good. Not too far from the roads, but I might actually want to have them on the roads in all honesty, so they can actually bucket out of there pretty quick. Which works for me. Yeah, there we go, we're not. Have you there, considering your security. Right, there we go. That works for me. Right, now the platoon to the south. I do like that position there. The reason why I like that position there is we do have the forest over here to potentially withdraw into. How you doing there, Cammy? Good to have you, my friend. That's not a bad position, as we could withdraw to the north there. But I don't have anywhere else, and I'm kind of out in the open there. That's a good position. That's not a bad position. I'm kind of feeling like either maybe that position there, perhaps. Let's take a look there. What I want to do is actually be some way into the actual town. And the reason being so I can actually have some ability to live, which would be nice. I do have some line of sight out here to the north, which is actually pretty damn good there. That's not too bad, Ben. I'll go for that position. I do have our Marder that could be positioned in here as well. So if I have them positioned in here, they do have line of sight to the south and to the north there, but not especially great in front of them. Somewhat better from that position there. Not exactly incredible. So center there works for me. Have them. Yep, okay. We'll tell them to only engage certain targets, so we'll have them actually given direct orders. Possibly a squad here to hold these centers is not a bad idea. I do have a lot to work with over here as well. We do need to keep an eye on that bridge, but I do have a Panzer Grenadier squad that is actually in a good position to potentially deal with that. We do have the Marder over here as well that can actually do something about that. So what I want to do then is actually control the approach into town. We have a squad watching the approach into town here, and a squad watching this over here would be very nice. I could potentially even have a Marder deployed in here, but the thing is the Marder would quite likely be destroyed. quickly enough. I like that position better as we do have a building to retreat into. The issue is maybe that... what is the range of their Panzerfaust? So I'm looking at about 500 meters. Accuracy drops off there significantly. Within 100 meters is where it's going to be essentially the deadliest. That is 89 meters. Not too bad then, that's 185 meters. I could potentially go there, and we're looking at about 100 meters here. Which is not a bad position. Okay. That's not too bad. We also have line of sight to the north. We have line of sight down here too. It's a pretty central position. It is somewhat open, however, though. That is the only issue I have. I might want to go for that position better instead, actually. That has a pretty damn supreme line of sight. Not overly infused. It does have some cover there. I'd like to have a little bit more cover around it. But it's not a bad position there to actually have line of sight. What we could potentially do then, the issue here is I have a difficulty in deploying the Marder. Yeah, that position there is going to be overwhelmed pretty quickly. I can't really go for that. It's nice to have that line of sight, but I can't withdraw from there. If things go pear-shaped, I can't get out of there. We could go for potentially there. But I think something like this is better, so at least we can actually pull back into the center of town there. That's not too bad there. I like that position. Has a line of sight out this way, but I might shift that just another one here. Does protect the bridge. We do have line of sight there, but not a great deal of line of sight. That's not too bad. It's covered on the front. It does have line of sight on the road here. And I can actually have the Marder hide there, so that's not too bad then. So what I'll do is actually have the Marder potentially deployed here. I do want to have them in a position where they could potentially get ATGMs off, though. That's the concern there. That's not too bad. It does have eyes on the roads there. I did say I'd be defending the south end of the town, but that's fine. It's to be expected, isn't it? I might potentially have some leopards to watch the southern flank. Okay. It is watching the approach into the town there, so we have that covered. Now, maybe a southern... though, actually, I want to have a reserve, so I think I will have them as a reserve more than anything else. So potentially have them deployed, and these fellows are spread out somewhat wide, aren't they? It might be that I have a reserve here. So if I have them deployed there, they do have line of sight out this way. We also do have line of sight to the, not amazing line of sight, however. So about there. That is better, they can actually see that, they can help to cover that. So that's something I can work with. I could potentially have their Marder. Let's see, I can have it positioned here. So at least it can actually cover the road to the south, it can cover here, we can actually retreat then if we need to. So that's not too bad. What I'll do then is actually have it rotated to actually face in said direction then. So we'll use it like that. Right, so we have one company deployed so far. We do have our headquarters. We do have a platoon here as a reserve, a very, very, a highly mobile reserve. That's good. So we do have a second company to work with then. So we have F platoon, we have E platoon, we have D platoon. A there for the actual headquarters. So the position in here is going to be fun. The headquarters is really quite able because we're going to have deployed here and it covers quite a large amount of area. We might want to go for a forward defense as I was talking about, which is quite nice because I could actually take a platoon like this. I could have the actual platoon broken up into 3 different locations here to try and cover a certain area. Okay. I feel like maybe these actual tree lines are not too bad. These ones especially are pretty good because we actually have the ability to back out of here. So I think what we'll do then is we'll have F platoon cover this southern end, as I said here, but it looks like we need a little bit more then. What I could do then, I might have them deployed around here. That's not too bad for the line of sight value there. They do have the ability to withdraw, but that's really quite nice to have that for said line of sight. I could have you deployed here, so at least I do have something to work with in terms of the ATGM. That more forward position, yeah, the terrain here is intriguing. So is it worthwhile having it here? Not especially. It might be worthwhile to actually have them position the Marder so it can extricate them. But I don't know. I don't think that's particularly worthwhile. I don't think we're going to be lacking third line of sight, so I don't know if I need to worry about it too much. How you doing there, Mike? Well, this is it. Don't have time to bleed, don't have time to read. Just get into it, really, and you pick it up. And I think that's the way to really tell if a game is good, is just, can you pick it up? Sure, you're not going to be able to master it, but if you can actually play and enjoy, then I think it's a pretty well-designed game. Yeah, so I'm not feeling especially too hot about the southern position here. I don't think it's particularly worthwhile, in all honesty. I could potentially have some forces deployed here, but I might potentially look towards the southern end here. I'd like to have something cover the roads into town. Mutual supporting squads would be nice from different platoons, but I don't think I'm going to get what I want there. That build-in, let's see. I might get what I want in terms of line of sight, but I think I'm going to struggle. Tree line. No, it's not playing ball. If I had them, obviously inside tree line there, could maybe work with that. But I don't think I want that. The first objective is nice, but I don't want to have everything deployed in there for said first objective. I do want to have some prepared lines to the rear after all. Let's see, that position there. It doesn't give me the line of sight about the forward warehouse does. I mean, it might be worthwhile to actually hold that position just for that line of sight. That line of sight is pretty tremendous. It does give us the ability to actually position here, so I think it is potentially worthwhile holding on to. What I can do then is actually have them deployed in such a way, maybe even have them rotated to actually get the hell out there as soon as possible. We'll see. I'll use that as a reconnaissance asset then. Indeed, Armoured Brigade is quite a good game. Would much enjoy it when I do get to play it. So I can have a squad positioned here. And again, they do have nice line of sight there. Maybe a squad down here. But the thing is, squads out there, isolated, aren't going to last very long, are they? And the squads over here in the north are essentially designed to act as a roadblock, but actually have the ability to be reinforced and actually fall back. Well, if I deploy in here, I'm going to find it very difficult to fall back. So, in a lot of ways, it might be worthwhile to actually have a 4 defense out here, but maybe just a single squad rather than the entirety of the platoon. But then again, I might have to use that platoon to actually hold that forward position. I've just seen the news. How's the heat wave coming in the UK? Oh, brilliant. Looking forward to those sleepless nights. Okay. Right. I'm going to have them shifted to the rear. The headquarters, even being over here, would actually still have... I still have a headquarters over here, so they still receive orders fairly easy. Yeah, I just don't think it's worthwhile. That position there is not one I intend to hold, really. So, take it from there. Okay. I might be able to get away with that. I might be able to get away with this, but I don't know if it's worthwhile. I think what we'll do then is we'll deploy our other forces here then, and we'll set up some sort of an interior line, really. Somewhere we can fall back on. So we're going to have the infantry actually moved into a position to cover the roads here. Like something like that's pretty good because we have the forest line then I can actually fall back into the rest of the forest here, which is nice. The issue is, I mean, there's like a good... I mean, if I take a look there, that's nearly a kilometre there. So it's one of those of where they might be able to fall back, but they're not likely to make it out without being actually blown the hell up, because the fact is, the enemy is going to have likely armour, they're likely to be mad, they're likely to be Russian. I mean, that's bad enough when combined all together here in Germany. So let's not go for that. I could potentially allow them to enter into the forest over here, and the issue is I can't reliably destroy them. The reason being the Soviet Motor Rifle Regiment is going to have, well, a lot of motor rifles. I know I spent about 40 minutes here just roughly on deployment, but that is very important. I mean, that is the hallmark of a good game. One where you have to put the fort in there, but not too far away. Be patient, people. It will be worthwhile, ideally. That's a good position there. Look at about 500 meters. I'd like to potentially, let's see, can I get a little bit further into the forest there? I want to be in a position where I can use the Panzerfaust, but I don't want to be easily seen. How does that look? So I'm in a position here where I can engage on the road. You can see that we do have line of sight to that position there. We do have line of sight beyond here. That'd be a useful position potentially for a Marder, but not so much for the actual infantry. Let's see. That's not too bad. I was hoping that we might have had a position where I can actually be in the, like, use this maybe a little bit further south. It's a little bit better, but I want to see further up the road here. And that might do it. But that gives me line of sight here. It gives me line of sight to the road here. That's not too bad. I can make use of that. But then again, I'm not supporting my other elements of the platoons. There's not much point to that. We'll have the infantry concerned with defending the actual approaches here. That's not too bad. Obviously, covers that in a position to actually lay down that fire. I might just have to go with that. Marder here. Marder's in a position. I could potentially have a Marder deployed somewhat forward, but it's not worthwhile, is it really? It's not too bad, but it's not amazing. They're likely to be butchered, in all honesty. Yeah, they're gonna get butchered. But they have to hold that town. Sorry, we have to hold that road there. So try to set up something like mutual support and fields of fire. From over here, be very nice. Not quite what I was hoping for there, but it is going to help us to defend this area. I do have the benefit of the road there, which is nice. Oh, they do have a line of sight to the north there, which is excellent. How about actually on the road? They do have the forest area between them. That's not a bad position there. I don't know if I'd be able to fire the ATGMs out there, but that's not too bad. Maybe I can work with that. Maybe that. A little bit deeper into the tree line is not too bad, but at least I do have line of sight out this way. But I'm not actually helping myself here. I'm not helping the other elements. That is better. At least I do have a little bit of cover there to work with. Right, a little bit more to the south concerns them only with said south, but I'd like to have line of sight there to the north too. We'll go ahead, split the difference and call it about there then. Panzergrenadier is going to be an interesting one to actually decide where to deploy, but I do need to have them deployed here to actually cover this area. About there, I guess. They'll have them in the forest to some extent. Yeah, that works to me. That works to me. As we have the last part of the company, sorry, of the platoon. I'm going to keep saying that. I'm getting mixed up. You know what I mean. That's actually quite nice. We do have a forward position there to work with. Yeah, that's pretty good. Don't like them being out there, however. So maybe I have them deployed out here. But then again, I have those forces to the north, don't I? So maybe we have that as our reserve. Which isn't a bad thing to have. What I can do even is have them in a position like this. Maybe. Something like that, then they can at least be shifted out pretty quick. They could be loaded up and made ready to be moved. But actually, I think I'm going to have them loaded up and ready to go, so we can actually have it as our platoon reserve. So we'll go with that. Headquarters is over here. So at least that gives me something to defend the north with to a degree. Let's see, how does that look? As one would expect. I need a position where I can actually make use of that height. Right. So we're looking really at the actual forest, at the actual tree line there. We'll go for the tree line deployment then. Seems like that's going to be the best I'm going to get. Right, let's take a look at that. Have you placed there, actually? Yeah, that's looking pretty good. They'll be able to engage from that position there. And then we do have our headquarters here, which I can actually have deployed at the crossroads. Reattached. Okay. Right, there we go. The NPC element would be really intriguing. Can you imagine having like a tactical nuke? Holy moly. That'd be crazy. Right, so have them reattach. Okay, we're looking good there. So I do have my reserve here. I do have these fellows here as well. I think what I'll do then is have these as the actual reserve. They could be potentially positioned in here, really. But I don't want to have them so carelessly spread out. It might be simply we have them in our reserve here. But I think I don't know. I think that's fine. Keeps them within the actual command range, doesn't it? Load them up. At least it allows me to make use of this fellow here then. So I'm going to have you unload. Like so. That's a good position there. But I might want to have something down here to south, perhaps. Yeah, we'll see. Deploy something like that. That's not too bad. It supports the south there, which is what I want. So I do have these forces out here then. Maybe I do actually have them as a forward element, as a forward tripwire. It might be potentially worthwhile doing. I could potentially have this set up as a illusionary defensive line, perhaps. It's tough because we don't have... I mean, it's not bad line of sight from the top of the hill here. I'm not super comfortable with it, though. I'm within range of natural command, so that's good. No, I'm not particularly infused by that. I may have them deployed in the town then. Further solidifying our control there. But I would love to have something out here, just make sure we have a forward defense there. It might actually be worthwhile. I mean, we are likely to take losses there. But if I can actually inflict losses, then at least that is something worthwhile. But if I can actually, importantly spot the enemy, but engage the enemy and ideally cause them losses before I can actually pull back. Well, before I do pull back, that'd be nice. Have you in the center there if you can actually be there. Yeah, that's not bad. I think we'll try and operate with something like that. I might go to the south there, but this is it. We are going to be encountering this side here. Okay. But maybe that's not a bad idea. I do have a lot of cover that I can work with there. What I'll do is actually have something deployed here in the southern part. They do have fire support, but they're not going to have a lot of fire support, so they might have access to mortars, which wouldn't be too surprising. So I think what I might do then is actually have them deployed in such a way as to... Yeah, but then the issue is they're too close to each other. So what I'll do here then, deploy you about there. You can cover that area there then. Maybe I had just have you deployed there. I suppose we'll go with that. It's not too bad, I suppose. I mean, in fact, I could just swap them around again. Right, okay. Have the infantry there to south, and at least we're actually in a position to hold that bit of tree line. So that's looking pretty good then. So we'll go with that. I'm not super enthusiastic about that, but they can potentially fall back. So I'm going to go ahead and reattach. So we're looking pretty good so far then. Reattach here. Okay, that's looking good. We have our reserves here. A little bit further down there then. So now we only have the actual leopards to deploy here, which is fine. I might have a leopard platoon to the south. I think it'd be worthwhile to actually have something like that. But now to have some pretty fast-moving, hard-hitting actual support on hand. And ideally equipped with the 120mm guns would be nice. Okay. If I take a look then. It does depend on what we're going to be engaging as well. Because I potentially have them, let's see. Oops. Reattach. I'm not super... No, I'm not really getting that vibe there. And what about if we had them something like that? I'd like them to be in a position where they could actually move up and be able to fire. And then fall back behind the lip of a hill, actually. Yeah, it looks about that. About there. That might be worthwhile actually taking the risk on, Ben. Let's see. So they're in a position there where they can actually see something. If I have them shifted just a little bit further forward there. So if I go with that. Okay, it's not exactly impressive as I was hoping for. That's not too bad. Alright, let's see. I don't know, I'm not feeling it. I kind of like that idea. The position down here, perhaps. I might have them further deployed down here. They're not going to see much down that way. And I have to have them deployed on the other side of the actual hill here. You can see there. Can't really see anything until they cross that hill. It might be I keep the actual armored units there as a reserve. If I take a look there, have them reattach. But if I see, they can kind of see about that position there, not very well though. So let's change that formation. Right, so they're in a position there where they shouldn't actually be. They may still be spotted, of course. They could always still be spotted. But at least they're in a position where they can actually hold the south here. Right, they're actually in a tricky position there, because they could be spotted about there. So what I'll do then is change that formation. In fact, what I'll do is have it fall back there. I think that's fine. Okay. And we'll go for that then. And then I think I will keep the actual leopards over here then, to the north. I apologize for the near our setup, but I really want to make sure this goes well. But I really enjoy this aspect. I could potentially have the leopards over here actually in a strong position. And it does make you wonder, is it potentially worthwhile having the leopards actually used, essentially, as our artillery support. As our direct fire support from quite some distance away. Line of sight's actually not bad at all down here. Let's see. What I want to do is actually get some line of sight down here. So there are certain positions that could potentially achieve that. Overlapping fields of fire would be very nice. Have the hides up. I love how you can actually use this with this mode too. That really is quite helpful. I might even have the tanks actually shift to that position there. That's not too bad at all, really. So look, oh right, that's why. That's not bad, actually. That's actually, I like these positions here, then. These positions are quite nice. Now, they can't actually see much from their own positions, but they do have fields of fire down here. That's what matters. These fellows have just become quite somewhat difficult. They're going to have to act as essentially their own formations, essentially independent from the rest of the company. Which is fine, to be expected there. I'd like to have something to actually be able to watch the north there if I could. But that's going to be a little bit easier than easier said than done. I do have tree lines over here I could potentially use, but not especially great ones. I can find a position to watch. Right, so I'm going to have to look for something about there. But that's not too bad, actually. I might be able to make use of that. It's not in cover. Right, that's the position I want there. A little bit further forward. Right, let's see. Right. That'll do. Now if I take a look at that line of sight. They could be spotted obviously as they move to that position there. If I shift them slightly forward. Some of them will have line of sight out there. It's not a great line of sight. But it's not bad. I can make use of that. At least then they're in a position where they can actually engage. So there we go. I spent quite a lot of time on this, haven't I? I apologise. But I think it should be worthwhile. I do have these forces here that I need to reattach. There we go. We have them reattached. We have our reserves then. I may have the reserves actually a little... I don't know. But actually in not a bad position. Maybe I consider having reserves there. but we'll see. We don't have any mines, we don't have any equipment to work with. What I'm going to do here then, I could give them opportunity, well, I could tell them to keep their fire to 100 meters, but we'll see. What I'm going to do then is infantry. I'll just have this as a universal infantry order. I can also give them different orders as the battle does actually rage, so that's fine. I think that is all the infantry there, so what I can do then, standard operating procedure. I'm going to have them effective fire and hard. I might even tell them to hold fire, but I think that's fine. Seek cover, of course. Covered path. Okay, there we go, we'll go with that. These guys. A little bit more difficult, I can't. I'll give them universal orders, otherwise I'll be spending a long time on this. Try to make the best of things. Okay. I think I've got about them all there. Okay. Soft targets, effective range. We're going to have the hard targets on max range, because I do need to actually be able to, even if we don't hit them, I might not even get the actual opportunity to use all that ammunition, so I'm going to have them fire if I can. Right. Load on contact. Oh, that means obviously if they're spotted, they'll unload their infantry. Okay, that's fine. So we'll go with that then. And we'll go ahead and start the battle then. Okay. I'm going to take this opportunity to drink a little bit of coffee, so do forgive me. What do you guys think of the battle so far? Obviously, it's only just begun here, but what do you think of the deployments? Do you think they're appropriate? I mean, I would have preferred to have had a little bit more to work with, but... I mean, air power would have been especially nice, but I sadly do not have it. Oh well. So what we're waiting for now is obviously the enemy to be within sight. I'm going to take this opportunity then to drink my coffee, as I said. Okay. Now, if it's like forward Soviets over here, I'd be rather amazed. Right, actually we do have a unit spotted here then. So yes, we do have an enemy vehicle here. I don't like that they're engaging. I mean, I'm impressed, but I don't particularly like it. So we'll have time go on slowly here then. So we do have a wheeled vehicle approaching. Now that could be APC. We do have the Marder engaging as it should be. Now that's what I want to see here. I want to see appropriate use of ammunition. Appropriate use of arms, I should say. We do have something there deployed to the front. We do have a... do these guys actually have that? Oh, they have ATGMs. I didn't even realize they had ATGMs. Oh, wow, they're in a fantastic position then, aren't they? But I should have told them to have actually held fire. I know that's technically still effective for them, so, well, we'll see. And there we go, ATGM ideally kills. Oh, yes, it does. Huh. Good shot. Right, so we have our first kill within less than half, within less than a minute and a half. We did have the Marder fire, but I'm going to have the Marder reposition then just ever so slightly. Okay. Now, ideally, they did not see where that ATGM came from. If there is a likelihood that they did, and that position will be greeted with mortar fire rather soon. But we'll see. But at least I can actually shift a Marder. I think it's worthwhile having the Marder redeployed, so at least it shifts its position. It might lose some of its actual capabilities, but ideally be in a more sheltered position, so we'll have the Marder move there. Okay. And so far so good. We have identified a approach that the enemy has taken here. We're just waiting for the enemy to reveal themselves, and then we'll take it from there, really. We still have our reserves, which is good, so we can work with that. Now, of course, I do have my mortars. I could potentially do having them. Right, okay, so there's potentially something spotted out that way to the north there. Right, okay, so we do see vehicles moving down the center here, so we are seeing another wheeled vehicle. I might have this actually lined up then for high explosive fire. Of the mortars, of course. A couple of shells down there could be potentially useful. We did see something potentially spotted out this way. So, what I'll do is actually have a second mortar battery lined up that way. Okay. Apparently something there, but I'm not too sure about that. But then again, I don't actually have line of sight here, really. I should... Actually, no, I don't know about that. No, I should do. I should actually have something to be able to spot that. Right, we do have the ATGM actually engaging once again. The target over here. It is moving this time. The last one was actually stationary. We do have our Marder here. Marder hasn't actually identified the target yet either. I do have second Marder, not Marta. I was thinking that might be what they become. Oh, we missed that. That's a shame. We might not have actually killed it. And that's the issue. They don't have much in the way of ATGMs there. Hope for the best then. We do have the Marder from the south here that... Right, ATGM out. That's a very fast ATGM there. We're playing the base game, but I'm actually playing with a scenario here, a custom scenario. Good. Marder eliminates a target. Ready to fire, ready to fire. Good job on that. So I still have 5 of these ATGMs. Yeah, it's a shame that we don't have more ATGMs in the actual Panzer Grenadiers there. I mean, it makes sense. Oh, so we do spot something to the south here then. Okay. We do have our Marder over here engaging. So it's engaging with the autocannon. We do have second Marder here engaging. Right, target has been destroyed. I do have to bear in mind they are likely going to have to redeploy now. That's not a bad position. It's actually a fairly covered position as far as it goes there. I'm going to have a third mortar battery sighted down this way, I guess. Not very particularly matters. It's not going to be on the right position. But you never know. So I do have something apparently out this way that might be enemy forces. It seems like infantry over here. Okay. Do let me know if the music is a little bit too loud, by the way. Speed things up slowly. Well, that didn't quite make sense. Speed things up slightly. I see what you mean. Okay. So we do have an enemy unit spotted down here. So we do have a BRDM-2 reconnaissance vehicle here then. Now it is moving up there. I actually do have one of the Leopards in position to actually attack that. I do have Panzer Grenadiers over here from F Company actually engaging. Leopard gets shot off. Leopard actually misses that, it seems. Yes, I did just slightly miss. I mean, it's good to be able to take out these BRDM-2s. I would have preferred the Panzer Grenadiers not use that ATGM. Does every Panzer Grenadier have ATGMs? No. Okay, we do have Marder here actually lining up. ATGM does it there. Okay. I do hear something moving. I think I will have this Marder, sorry, this Leopard move to that position there. So if we do have line of sight there, that's not too bad. Yes, the line of sight tools are just fantastic now. They have definitely been improved quite dramatically. But too solemn. I like that run, that's a good one there. Right, it does look like we actually have something spotted over here to the north. It might be worthwhile actually putting some shells down there on top of that target, just in case. If you guys are enjoying this so far, please do consider following myself on Twitch and on YouTube at XTRG. That would be very much appreciated. We do have another 50 minutes here of solid content, which is nice and fun. I think it's worthwhile. We spent quite a lot of time actually on the opening there, but I think it has worked out. It's working out so far because we've actually got a fairly effective position here. Taken out a reconnaissance element as far as we can tell. Free-wheeled units there too. I don't know if we've been spotted as of yet. I've got to hazard the guess that we have been spotted, but we are in positions of decent cover. So we'll see about that. I shall take it off fast. Sorry, take it off slow. Right. Every minute that ticks on by without the enemy making themselves felt is not bad. Right, so we're ready here. I'm gonna put a couple, yeah, a couple shells down range. It might shake them up a little bit. How much ammunition do I actually have here? Okay, so we do have. So we had 49 high explosive shells. We have 8 smoke. We have some illumination. Okay. So we do see another BRDM2 here. That was taken out. Right, you received some fire, but I'm going to have you actually reverse here. Not like that. Honestly, I probably want to have that just relocate entirely, so I'm going to have it shift to the other side of the actual forest there. But it's good, we've taken out 2 reconnaissance vehicles there. We do have leopards in position. Right, sounds like those shells are landing. It looks like we're starting to see armoured units potentially shifting up here now. It looks like they'll be approaching from this way and from over here in the north. I may have that leopard platoon potentially move out to be in a position to act as reserve, but I'll have to entrust my forces here. I've not seen a reason to engage our reserves as of yet, but I don't imagine it's going to be too far away from having to do that. The only issue is actually trying to get the actual units there in position alive. That's often it's often easier said than done, really. Yeah, the Mards are taking fire from. I don't think it's a small MG. I could be wrong there. It might have a 13.2 mil. I'm not too sure. It might even be a smaller caliber on top of the BRDM. Not sure about that. I'm thinking it's probably going to be smaller caliber there. Okay. Advance our time there. Looks like we have some fires over in the north there. Right, we are seeing additional. There's something that's going to be coming up this way. We do. Right, okay. I'm not comfortable with that, so it looks like we definitely have armored units moving to the north there, it seems. I think what we're going to do then. I could potentially have some mortar shells lobbed down that way. The issue is I just don't have that much to work with. But what I'm going to do here then is. It's difficult because even as harassment, I might just guess. I may be guessing incorrectly here. But again, there is a value in actually having harassment. Issues, it takes some time for that actually to arrive on station. So what I'm going to do then is actually set up a few mortar batteries on the north. So 1, 2, 3. Ah, so they're still here. So another 3 rounds there. Okay. That might be the best I'm going to get there. I don't know what that means. Is there actually a unit here? I'm not too sure. Oh no, that's actually the, yeah, I was thinking, oh, what does that mean then? Right, so we have rounds that will be landed down here shortly. Right, we are seeing armoured units here. When they are ready, I'm going to have a couple rounds placed down there. Rounds down range. Another 3 rounds. Another 3 shells. Yeah, we are seeing a few units down here. couple shells down range. Right, we do have ground unit spotted here. That looks to be an armored unit. We do have BMP-2 IFV over here. Now that is, yeah, this is what I was hoping for, that the actual leopards would be in a position to engage. Leopards apparently can't hit shit. Hate to gem, really. We do see BMPs here, but... So yeah, the leopards are in a great position here, it seems. We are dealing with that. So we do take them out. We do see another vehicle over here. So that looks to be very much likely BMP-2 as well. ATG amount here from the Milan. Right, unit destroyed. We do see units over here, wheeled units moving up. So the Leopard there using the AP FSDS. Is that really required? I mean, it's a BMP. Jesus Christ. It's not that tough. Right, okay. I do have you here. Considering that we do see the enemy spotted in this position, that's not too bad. I'm going to put another couple rounds here. The reason being that there could still be some BMPs in this area. We're not doing too bad so far. I may have to reposition the Leopards, but they're actually in a pretty damn strong position there. It wasn't until the enemy was actually spotted by other elements that the Leopards actually were in position to open fire. The Leopard is such a very nice looking tank. It's such a beautiful tank. So very nice. Right, I'm going to have a couple shells lopped down that way. I'll make it 5 this time. I'm going to try and be proactively more to support. Okay. If the enemy isn't going to move, I'm going to actually bring down some mortars on their heads there too. Okay. That is a little bit worrying, but this is as we planned for. I wanted to actually have them advance towards the town and actually be able to use the town here against them. Okay. So we do have Leopards in a position where they can actually support the south, but they should be in a position to support the north here too. It may be potentially worthwhile to actually have the Leopard, sorry, the Marder, I should say, shifted here to the north too. Oh, we do see vehicles moving over here then. So that mortar fire is driving their moths to an extent. 3 rounds down that way. Something over here, okay. So another 3 rounds down that way. We are seeing additional units over here, so we do see the Leopards engaging. I mean, every single Leopard being able to engage is really quite overpowered. Anyone else having problems with the auto stream? Mine is all garbled, can barely make it out. Oh, that's weird. I'm not too sure what to say there, Pit Fiends. Can I get a confirmation? Is the audio okay? It seems okay on my end. Yeah, I mean, this is beautiful here. We do see the Leopards just absolutely wiping out whatever the hell moves down that road. I mean, they're being hit from multiple different vectors. Yeah, there we go. The motor rifle regiment's not having a particularly great time right now. I don't have a tremendous amount of shells remaining, but I think it's worthwhile making use of them. If it encourages the enemy to get moving, then that's good for me. And if it doesn't, then they're pretty resilient. A couple more shells down that way. We are seeing more of that area too. Okay. So we do see something moving up this way. I think that is the vehicle that we saw previously over here. We do see what is likely another BMP. You can see this is actually becoming a BMP graveyard right now. Another vehicle joins them. We had an enemy vehicle destroyed here. Did we actually take that out with mortars? Because if I took that out with mortars, that's actually really, really great. Right, let's see. Enemy units around here-ish. Oh, actually, we're seeing quite a few enemy units here. Actually, they are still relevant there. So we'll have them adjust. The weak spots we have are more or less in the center, but then it becomes a case of the infantry dealing with it. We do have the Panzerfaust. We do have some of them actually with ATGMs, which is nice. I do, of course, still have the Marders in here, but I can actually use reserves to move in here. It may be potentially worthwhile to commit reserves here to the center, but I don't think it's a wise idea yet. Right, ground units. Okay. 3 rounds out. We are seeing BMPs over here. We are seeing a larger push here in the center. We're starting to see our forces begin to engage. The Panzer Grenadiers are spotting the BMP-2s here. We are seeing a vehicle here. The Marder IFV engaging with the ATGM here. Right, we're seeing 2 BMPs bearing down on us here. We do destroy that vehicle. Now, I do have you here. Have you actually ideally sighted? Just have them rotated so I ideally can engage there. We should be alright. I'd like to have the water support moved up, perhaps. But I think what we'll do then is have the water support moved over here. A couple more rounds there. Right, seeing enemy units over here. In fact, what I'll do is have... Well, actually, no, I can remain in position as is. Right, BMPs are moving here to the south. Have them rotate. There we go. Ooh, Twitch Mobile. I remember when I had to use Twitch Mobile because for some reason Twitch was just not working. That was a fun day. I streamed essentially by myself there. Right, I'm going to engage the BMP-2s. The BMP-2s are not even looking the right way. Right, doesn't take it out. Now, this is the kind of position where we're going to have to redeploy here, but the BMP-2s don't have a bead on us right now. I think this is probably the best deployment I've ever made here. This is actually going remarkably well. Right, so I do have these assets over here. I'll have them actually put some shells down range shortly. We are seeing elements over here. ATGM, is the enemy returning fire? Yes, the enemy is finally returning fire. Pop smoke, get the hell out, dodge. You might yet survive. Reverse, live. Right, you've survived. Still engaging here against the BMP. We're going to have you try to survive here. Have you reverse. You do have that smoke there in front. You might get the shells in there. BMP-2 here. Oh, we do see T-64s down here. This is actually quite impressive to see the T-64. I do have the Marder in a really nice position, but here we go. We're going to lay down some rounds here. Lay down those rounds. Come on, get those rounds down range, ASAP. It looks like they're laying down their own smoke here. Trying to engage. Let's see, actually, you might be in a position there to engage from, because that's not too bad. You are shifted. Doesn't look like you're actually taking return fire. Mortar rounds will be landed down here shortly. I have another ATGM. You are taking... Yes, you're taking fire now. That's not good. Pop smoke. Back off. We took out a T-64 there. Excellent, using the ATGMs. Very nicely done. More rounds down range. ATGM rounds landing there. Sounds like an ATGM has been launched. I'm not too sure. Yep, from there. Ooh, just missed there. They're going to be running out of ATGM shortly. So what I can probably do is have that vehicle shifted to that position here. This is what I was talking about beforehand, actually. Is the fact that my weakness is here in the center. But I have my reserves actually able to engage with that. So we do have our rounds landing here. A couple more rounds here, a couple more rounds. ATGM coming in. Ah, miss, sadly. Right, I do have a Marder here. These BMPs are pretty tough, actually. We do see T-64 there. God damn, that's really impressive that I actually spotted that. You may not live. Right, we're engaging there. Troops out in the open. Okay, now this is where we start to see things, but we do have the Leopards in a position to target the T-64. We actually have it in a flanked... Yeah, okay. So we see here Leopards of the L platoon engaging. Right, we do take out the enemy T-64 over there, which is nice. Right, we do see a T-64... No, sorry, we see an ATGM. Trajectory of that. It's kind of looking like over here, actually. Okay. What I'll do then is pop some smoke. Ah, can't be done like that. Game's fantastic, actually. Right, so they do survive that, but they're going to have to back off and relocate. Yeah, there we go. So they're going to pull back there. What I'm going to do is actually put down some mortar fire there. Do see the T-64s to the north there. Right, so now they're in a position. What I'm going to do then, they're actually still in a position to engage you, which is good. So, Marder IFV's taking fire. Not superb, you're taking fire from BMPs over here. There's also T-64 up that way, so what I'm going to do is actually pop that smoke. Have them retire down here, behind that tree line, ideally. Right, so I do have a Leopards. The Leopards are engaging against the BMP over here. I might potentially have the Leopards shift up a little bit further, but they're in a good position as to, well, where they are now is a good position. I might potentially have the Leopards over here potentially shift up a little bit further so they can engage over here to the north. But while I'm not required, I'm not going to do it. I don't want to actually show my hand as of yet. We do have the Marders engaging. What I need is actually get down to business and throw some mortar shells down their way. Yeah, it's quite a bit over here actually, so let's put down some water fire. And we're taking out there. Put down some shells there. Actually, I'm going to double up on that one. More shells down that way. Scheiße, they're taking fire. Right, reverse there. You're reloading ammunition at this moment in time. It may be about time. Oh, we are taking. Well, actually, they do have that smoke there. I can pop smoke and it might cover that Marders to the north, but it does takes light damage. Enemy ground unit spotted. We did have a vehicle taken out by the Leopards. Marder pulling back. Marder's already popped smoke, so we're looking good there. That's a problem over here. Put down some more shells. More shells over here to the north. More shells here as well. I've got to try and drive them out of that position. The BMP-2 is actually a very effective vehicle. Okay. Right, we do have that. So we are engaging the enemy here. So T-64s and BMPs there. But we do have our Leopards engaged and, well, actually positioned well. I might potentially shift up the second group of Leopards then to be in a position to possibly lend further support. So I'll have them given a contact order to move forward. I may go ahead and actually have these forces moved in such a way, but I don't know. I'm being pressed, and I might actually have these reserves, so I do have that Marder there. I think what I will do then is actually engage reserves then, perhaps. What I'll do then is have you unload there. Have you unload down there. And difficult one here. I'm going to go for that position there if I can try to get it. I'd like to have them possibly move there into the center there so I can take up positions. We are seeing a number of forces there. Okay. Leopards are in a good position. Shells down range looking good. More rounds down there. More rounds there. Seen a couple, yeah, T-64 then in the center. Okay. What I'm going to do then is actually shift you forward a little bit. Try and get you back to your original position. You're doing a really, really nice service there. Right, let's see. Do engage there. T-60... Wow, where the hell is that going? Oh, that's going from over here. Okay, so we do have a T-64 being engaged by ATGM and Leopard. Right, okay, so it's taking hits there to the front hull. It's a pretty nasty vehicle to deal with, but these Leopards are actually probably in a really nice position there. They do have that really rather impressive frontal armor there on the turret. Yeah, they're pretty impressive there against kinetic, even better against the chemical there, so they're actually looking pretty damn good. Yeah, it looks pretty nasty. It's a bit one-sided. But then again, we could have had a far inferior... I don't know, it's one of those. I think I'd like to say I've chosen good positions. I'd like to say I can take some credit, but let's see. We are taking fire here, however. Okay. Still not easy for us. Okay, I'd like to put down some mortar fire here. CBMPs here. Right entrance to the building. Damn. Okay. They do have the Milan here, actually. What I'll do is have them unload, and I can actually have the Milan set up in here. I'm tempted to shift the Leopards forward a little bit, but I still think we're in a good position there. They're now engaging, so that's fine. Yep. We are seeing them push there. It might be about time now to actually go ahead and bring the Leopards up over here on the flank. Have them shift forward until they get into a position where they can actually engage the enemy. Okay, try and hit them from the flank. Good idea, spotted. Yeah, we are seeing quite a large number of enemy units moving down here. Looks like we're out of ammunition here. I'm not too sure actually what they have in terms of actual support. We do have Leopard taking fire here. There's a large amount of enemies there. XTRG amount here. They haven't loaded, so I'm going to actually get them into position here ASAP. I'm going to have you actually fall back to that position. You can cancel that. Have you fall back to that position there. Plenty of T-64s here. The enemy has some pretty good equipment. BMP-2s and T-64s are not bad at all, actually. We have a BMP-2 abandoned there. I wonder if I was actually damaged by mortars. So we are moving up over here. Then ideally the Leopards will be in a position to engage the enemy. Right, we do have BMPs moving into the town here. ATGM out down here in the centre. Route, yeah, that was our first loss there, that Marder. Yeah, that Marder was told to fall back. It was in an open position there, so it paid for that, really. That was always going to happen there. Okay. Plenty of fire over there. Okay. Right, we do have a Marder in position. The Marder's only down to autocannon fire. It can still take on a BMP-2, but the BMP-2 is still a very effective vehicle. It's a tough mission for the AI. I do admit that. But come on, I want some credit too. I'm usually pretty bad at the game. Feels good to be doing well. I'm out of ammunition there. We are seeing quite a lot moving down here the centre. This is what I was talking about, obviously the centre being the weakness here. Okay. ATGM, oh sorry, Marder engaging here to the north. Those 20 mils don't seem to quite have that capability, do they? How am I looking here on line side? I'm gonna have to shift further up, aren't I? Actually, not too much further up. That unit has line of sight from there. Leopard opening up from the south there. See the number of T-64s being hit there. Taking shells out of him. I'm going to actually have them pop smoke, relocate if I can. Yeah, I'm not particularly happy there taking fire like that. I don't really have many other positions I can put you in. Have you move there. Ideally outside their fire. Right, that Leopard being able to engage over the 120 is good. Okay. So do you see a T-64? Yep, okay. Right, Leopard's engaging here. Looks like we're only down to smoke rounds here at this moment in time. Marder's engagement. You have... well, no, you've spent your ATGMs. I think the best idea here then is actually to have you reverse. I don't want to have the Marders actually just decimated. They can engage, they can actually kill things, but with those 20 mils... and this is it, they can kill... down to lost sort of a Marder there. Yeah, the north. Actually, shame I wasn't watching that. So there's a position there that's hot, isn't it? Yes, it's a Steam Workshop scenario. Which is why I said it's like things could be wacky. Now, it does say that they actually do have better organic support, but I don't think they're actually employing it. But I do wonder if they actually do have mortars. It'd be interesting to try it out from the AI's point of view, actually, to see if it could be one from the pack side. Right, put that smoke out there. I'd like you to be rotated there. Damn, it's another Marder now. And that's the issue, it only takes a few lucky hits, or a few hits and you start losing units. Been quite the graveyard over here to the north. And this is it, the AI is definitely not daft. It knows how to try and push here. It's been attempted this one for quite some time, but it knows it starts to be some success. It might be just a case of... Well, but again, these leopards are in a supreme position there. Right, taking hits once again. Pop smoke if you can. Move down here. We also do have the ATGM launch from the buildings there. They survive the ATGM, which is nice. Okay. Right, what I'm going to do there is move forward somewhat. Looks like they're outside that command range. I'm going to have that command shifted on. Yeah, I think the AI should probably push down here to the south. I'd say we're definitely weakest in the south there. There's a fair amount of assets there. How are they moving through there? How are they doing that? Okay. I don't know if I can do that. I don't think I can. I mean, that T-64 bit is nasty. Okay. Right. Jesus. I am glad that I told them to actually just engage at any distance they could. But I'm starting to run lower on ammunition now, so I'm going to have to bring in additional leopards at some point soon enough. We do have these leopards moving on up. I'm moving them just with advanced orders so none of them ideally get stuck. Oh, damn, we just lost our first leopard there. No, not Leo. Okay. Yeah, the T-64 is a pretty dangerous platform. Had very small road wheels, which is interesting. I was actually reading a document the other night, actually. It's almost like an Osprey, but it's talking about, like, obviously vehicles of the Warsaw Pact. And, yeah, it's interesting, actually, because you have, like, the T-54, and then you have the T-72, and then you have, like, the T-90, I think it is. That's in that sort of, like, line of vehicles. But then you have, like, T-64, you have T-80, and they're both more advanced vehicles in ways, but then this is it's just... It didn't catch on as much. But it's interesting. I'd like to read as to why they developed vehicles like that. And I can imagine the idea being, well, you have, like, a sort of, like, vehicle that's easy to manufacture, or easier to manufacture. One that can actually be exported as well, so it's a good idea. Yeah, so rocket artillery would be nasty. That DPI CM, I think, ammunition they call it, would be quite nasty. Okay. I think this could be one of the AI, as the Warsaw forces here, as the Soviet sites would say. I think really what their problem was obviously having so much deployed over here to the north. I think they should have realised that, you can see the large amount of vehicles here. There's a large amount there. I feel bad now. It's like the one time I've actually positioned things well. And, yeah, they are lacking support in all honesty. What do we have here then? ZSU, yeah, that usually indicates that they are reaching the end there. And even potentially having the BMPs move up to about 300 meters away from the town, disgorging that infantry would be a good idea. Infantry is really difficult to take out, so it's both... It's both like a glass... I don't know, it's almost like they're made of glass sometimes, but sometimes they're made of steel. So they do absorb shots, they do take a lot of firepower to actually destroy completely. I was like with a tank, it's like hit a tank in the right spot once it's dead. Infantry, yeah, you gotta hit it quite a few times there to try and wipe them all out. And this is the thing I was afraid of most, is if they start to push down here in the centre. If they'd been doing that from the start, they probably would have had a very good turn of events now. Don't forget to take a look at Armoured Brigade again in the future. We could always try this scenario from the Soviet point of view. That could be fun. Yeah, there you go, that's true. We do have our Leopard taking fire here. That Leopard is coming under quite a lot of pressure there. We are a... TGM coming in there. Live. Missed, that was quite lucky. No, I need to go ahead and like find some really good books. And some like books that actually really go into like the detail, the actual design, what's the word now? Philosophy? However you want to pronounce that. Books on doctrine would be quite interesting. I've looked into it to some degree, and it's quite intriguing actually, because you'd have, like, with Soviets, you'd have, obviously, the armor at the front, and then you'd actually have the armored personnel carriers behind them in lines, and almost like a wave, essentially. And you'd have the armor move in front, the infantry disgorge, and then move out. I don't know at what point it might have changed, if ever it did, but I think one of the weaknesses of the BMP and etc. is the... I think it was supposedly very easy to identify the command vehicle because it'd be the only one with like a antenna, but I'm not entirely sure if that's true. It's been a while since I did the region there. So we are seeing the Panzerfaust finally being employed here, and that's kind of what I actually anticipated. They are about... They're not exactly in the range I'd prefer them to engage at. Oh, actually, not bad shot there. I was taken out by the Leopard, that's why. Yeah, natural tanky mode. That'd be pretty cool, actually. Okay, we're not too far away from a victory here. I've not yet actually got to play ICBM. Looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to Shock Force. Wink, wink. Right, do we have the Panzer Grenadiers under fire here? Panzer Grenadiers taking a lot of fire there. They're going to have to pull out if they can. Right, let's see. Yeah, they're not going to last too long, are they? Oh, I forgot about you. Yeah, engage against T-64 is not going to go well. You don't have any ATGMs, so you might as well just pull back. But then again, you're in a position where you haven't been yet spotted, so maybe we'll just use that. We do have weak points that potentially try and cause some damage here. That's not too bad. So we do have the ATGMs out this way. Maybe. Yep, lost the Panzer Grenadiers there. That's a shame. How am I looking at ammunition here? Yep, they're out of ammunition. They're low on ammunition. Oh. Shit. No! You were not meant to die this way! Okay, I'm gonna have them pull back somewhat. Right, they're in a very strange position there. Try and move up to that line there. I do think I've been quite fortunate regarding the Leopards, because the Leopards, Just like we had that one taken out there, that leopard could have been taken out from a much earlier point. Having less leopard support would have definitely seen us in a worse position. You should take a look at just how many vehicles they had taken out over here in the north. That is incredible there. They've definitely earned their pay today. I mean, my god, the enemy has a lot of armor. Oh god, can you imagine the cost of all the vehicles lost here? I mean, this is definitely a I mean, this is it. The politicians are going to be quite happy about this one, aren't they, really? Yeah, there you go, Rumka. That's what I'm talking about. That sort of stuff is really intriguing. I was actually reading a book on the Korean War. That was quite good. It's an Osprey book. It was an actual good Osprey book. But it was quite intriguing just to read about the actual Korean War from the American point of view. I do need to actually look at an actual proper history book. Something like a narrative history is always useful to go in there. I do find myself actually looking for something that's more about the... not... I suppose the way to describe it is like... not the tree, but the forest. No. Actually, reverse that. Not the forest, but the tree, if that makes sense. I think I want to have a book about the deer, written by the deer, from the point of view of the deer in the forest. About the tree. Okay. Jeez. I think what we'll do then is we'll speed things up over here. It looks like a bit of a foregone conclusion at this point in time. I'm quite happy about that. I never usually win like this, so it's quite nice. Okay. Right, so do we have a BMP moving into town there? Wow, a modernized version of the T-62 would be intriguing. I was actually watching a few videos about the T-14 Armada, and it's like I love the fact that they have recruited the actual armored compartment, and that looks like something that we might see potentially in further tank designs in the future. Because it's just, yeah, I mean it's intriguing. I mean the fact that you don't have a crew in the turret, you actually have a crew in a very armored capsule, essentially compartment is really fascinating. I mean, I don't know, it reminded me of this ship in a way. Azcona. Ah. I thought you meant like a current modernized T-62 or T-64, like new version. That'd be cool. Right, let's see here. We'll speed things up. It doesn't look like the end is nigh. Well, it's really too far away. Yep, leopard taking fire. And there we go. Oh, that's cool. I do like the Ukrainian tank. Is it the Oplot? Is it the Oplot? That's a cool looking vehicle. There we go. Yep, they should be gone in just a second. I think another vehicle lost will see them defeated. Yep, there we go. So the Warsaw Pact did it a bit hard then, which is a shame. And the reason why the AI chose a northern approach is the frontier low ground. The AI behaves that logically if scenario designer has to test his scenario, see how it works in practice. Well, that's it, exactly. I mean, the AI is pretty damn impressive. It did its best to actually adapt to the situation. I do agree with stacked and Jesus Christ, that's a lot of vehicles there. Oh, they actually did have, let's see here. Move that there. Yeah, so they did have mortars, and I don't know why they weren't using them. Huh. That's interesting, Ben. Yes, they had the mortars over here. They had, 120mm mortars there. That makes sense, then. That's strange, then. I wonder if it was actually, some sort of bugbear with the actual... designer scenario there. He has no credit. Yes, exactly. No, I know. We had it easy. Didn't think we'd have it easy, but it turns out, yeah. As I said, we had been told they would have artillery, but for some reason they didn't actually employ said artillery. Maybe one day I'll be able to brag. Maybe one day. We'll take a look at it then, so test was which. I can't play as the USSR, which is a shame, but... fair enough. Who will stop the rain? Okay, we have 10 minutes here. I'm not too sure what we're going to do now. Let's see, elastic defense is interesting. Against the Polish. Polish against the British. The Shadow of the Alps. Able Archer. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Polish. We've got a few minutes, we might as well take a look at the Polish here. Still love the art. Still love the art. Okay. Oh, we actually defending. Oh, excellent. Oh, yes, I remember this scenario. Yes, I remember this scenario. Yes, we have played this one, actually. Frontal Assault is a tough one. Take a look at that. I see. Tactical log. Okay. Oh, wow. Yeah, I think I see why it's a tough one now. So we have our Jaegers here. Oh, God. I know I'd get creamed in this one. Also, we have the M1 one. I like it. This is fairly early then, isn't it? Build boxes. Oh, do we get to deploy them? Wow! Okay, this will be the one we play next time. This is fantastic, actually. They only have the MG3, but man, the MG3 is awesome. Sexy as hell. So we do have some forward positions here. Well, forward units. These are ruins, cool. So, do I have a briefing? What's the briefing here? The Third World War in 1972 has turned into trench warfare. The East Germans are now assaulting the West German positions, place short pillboxes, optimal fields of fire, minefields, and other obstacles to... Wow, okay, this is pretty fun. This is essentially... I like it. And the scenario demonstrates infantry force type. If the force type is infantry, then the AI usually advances with its infantry units dismounted in front, and tanks follow behind, supporting the infantry. The infantry AI fares cover terrain instead of open ground, which makes a lot of sense. So we essentially get to have like a World War I scenario. That's fantastic. God, I can't imagine this scenario coming about. God, where do we even begin? And let's see then. So we do have minefields, I do have anti-tank, I do have actual wire. I don't have... Do I have any support in artillery? Oh, we actually have... Wow, we have close air support of the events. We do have the iron bombs. And we do have our napalm. Nice. I really hope I did with the steampunk landship mod eventually managed to release. I've not heard about that, but that sounds really interesting. Like, I've never actually heard about that, and I'd like to see a link to that. I've not heard about that. Landship sounds amazing. Right, what we're going to do here, then, is... we're just going to get some gameplay here. We're not going to have any wise deployments, but what I'm going to do is just spread some pillboxes out randomly, and we'll just play a little bit, then. Just before the end of the stream, then. And at least then, we can have a little bit of fun. Okay. So we have the Siegfried line here. The Siegfried and Roy line, essentially. Jeez, heavy mortars here. Okay. There's our cavalry. I'd put down... Actually, no, I could do it putting down the minefields. Okay. Oh, can I not? Okay. Oh, do I have to place them here? Okay. Let's place them down for the time being. There we go. Let's get the gameplay. Yep. I do like how you can actually deploy these. That's actually really cool. So there we go. Let's get the game in there. So we do have our barbed wire. That's still a lot of barbed wire to play with there. Usually have very little like that. Here the AI actually advances dismounted because of the infantry force type set in indeed. Okay. I do have some reconnaissance vehicles here then. We'll speed things up. Would be rather intriguing to see a human wave in effect. Okay. There we go. So while we're here then, guys... Whoop. Nearly slipped off my chair. Didn't die. Nearly died, though. That'd be embarrassing. Okay. As I was going to say, which vehicle do you actually like? Which is your go-to Cold War vehicle? I do have a soft spot for, like, the BTRs. Not the original, not the open-top BTR. I like the armored BTR, but I like the one that actually has the actual MGs on top. They're really cool. Really, really far out there. Let's see. So the enemy has a lot of artillery, you say? I'd imagine they do. We'll go ahead and we'll actually deploy some napalm, I guess, somewhere. I've not seen any artillery, but we'll bring it in. We'll bring it in. They'll figure it out. If we had the time, we'd do this scenario properly, but unfortunately we do not, so we're just going to have a little bit of fun here at the end. Also, infantry usually advances in front of tanks, tanks follow in small. Yep, makes absolute sense. Use the infantry as a plate of armor. I mean, this is it. Oh, what was it called now? Oh, that sounds like that artillery. Which I imagine is not going to be too gentle. Oh, yes, there we go. Yeah. That's not looking very nice. That's a lot of rockets. Oh, wow. And it's still going. And it's still going. Jesus Christ. Oh. No, oh, no, still going. Bloody hell. Okay, that is impressive amount of artillery. I can imagine they're nervous. I can imagine. Holy moly. Yes, game suddenly goes to City. I do miss that game, actually. Like the original one. Though I did like the remake SimCity, that was pretty fun. I haven't played a Sim City build in a while, actually. I might go ahead and do that. Well, here we go. We do have our airspawn coming in here. I love how we have the actual face of the aircraft, actually, now. That's nice. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to actually see where they'd be going. Oh, no. Was it always green? It might have been a difficult one, actually, in the past. I might be talking about my arse at the moment of time. So we have a napalm here. Nice and toasty. Yes. That's a lot of napalm there. So they do have here the Vulcan as well. F-104s. Ooh. Yeah, okay. That's looking pretty harsh. So we do have the F-104G over here, then, so we do have a 20mm. I'd rather they use the 20mm than actually engage with the bombs, considering the bombs could probably do it. Good they don't engage, that's nice. Ah, we do have the 20mm engaging here. The F-104 is such an interesting looking aircraft. It has such a little, like, stubby wings. So this is something I need to look up in the future as well, is the actual development of aircraft. Ah, so we do have some iron bombs there. There's 4 of them in a row there. I can imagine that's actually, that looks pretty painful there. Okay. Very nice. But we have reached the end of the stream. It's been a pretty fun night. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. In fairness, the AI wasn't given the greatest amount of tools in the last scenario. It seems they did have that artillery, but for some reason chose to not employ it. Potentially a case of honor? Who knows? We had a little bit of a mess around here at the end. It might be an idea to take a look at the scenario in the future, just to actually have a little bit of fun there. But I hope you guys are enjoying it. If you have, please do consider following me on YouTube at XTRG and Twitch at XTRG as well. Thank you very much to Slytherin Group for allowing me to be here once again. I hope to see you again in the future. Possibly be seeing you guys next week. Who knows? Could be quite a shock. Goodbye for now. See you next time. Iceycrome. Jane. Sayonara. See you next time, guys. Have a good one.